Hello friends, welcome to Southern Seasons. My name is Jody and I am so glad that you've joined me today. Before we get started on the video, I want to thank all of you for your prayers and sweet words. They have lifted me up and given me more confidence that all will be well on Wednesday. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the bell to get all the notifications of my new videos coming up. Today, I am participating in the Thrift Flip road trip hosted by Teresa from Our Green Acres and the Crafting Cousins. You will be joining me in colorful Colorado, and I have the link to both of their channels and the playlist down below. So, shall we get started? For my first flip, I am going to be taking this picture frame here, and I'm going to take the glass out and the mat. And I'm just going to paint the frame. This was $2.99 and I did get it half off. I also got the smaller frame. It's 99 cents, but it was half off also. I'm going to use both of these frames together. Just going to take the backing and the glass out of the little one too, and it's going to get painted. I'm going to try to put it in between here, maybe like this, not sure yet. Okay, so while I'm waiting for paint to dry, let's go ahead and work on the inside. I just cut a piece of cardboard to fit back in behind on the picture frame, and I'm just using Mod Podge on a piece of scrapbooking paper here, and I did make my little lines here for me to stay in with my scrapbook paper. And I'm just going to place this on here. Okay, smooth it down. Okay, now I also want to use this piece here, but I'm not going to use it the way it looks. I'm actually going to start tearing this. Okay, and we'll put it like so. Again, get the Mod Podge out. And place it in the corner. The next thing I want to do is I just want to have these roses here. I'm going to cut this out. This is another piece of a scrapbook paper. Just going to take my scissors and cut out as much of the leaves and the roses that I can here. Do this really quick all the way around. Okay, get the other side here done really fast, and have a little bit of trimming to do right here. So I want to Mod Podge this in, just going to figure it out here. Oop, got stuck there. Need to cut a little bit more off. There we go. Just going to play with this a little bit, see how I want to place this. Okay, we'll do it like that. Get some more Mod Podge on. And place it in the corner like so. Okay. So, see, keeps getting stuck there. So I have this pink and white striped one that I'm going to place in the upper left corner. Like so. It's going to hang over the edges a little bit, but I'm just going to cut those off real quick. All this gets covered up with the frame. Needs a little bit more glue. Okay. Okay. Now I want to do something in the bottom right hand corner. I am just going to take this quarter piece of a doily, paper doily that I have. I'm going to put some Mod Podge on here and then place the doily over it. And I am coming off of the scrapbook paper just a little bit. Get this Mod Podge down. Okay. And then I have this piece of scrapbook paper that was on the end of that other one up in the corner, and I cut it with the angle there so that it will fit right there on the doily. Alright, so now I gotta let all of this dry. And while that is drying, I am going to work on the picture frame. I'm going to use this deep taupe color. Just going to take a damp paper towel, put it in the paint, and rub it in to the frame. So you just put it on and you wipe off the excess. Okay, we'll do the sides also here. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up this side here on camera, and off camera I will do all the other 3 sides. Like I said, you just want to get it as dark as you want it in. You know, this has a really intricate pattern in it, so I want to bring all of that out. With this color, you can use whatever color you want. I like to use this deep taupe, and I just got it at Hobby Lobby. And I did forget to mention that I just used some white chalk paint on both of these frames. So now once the frames are dry, I have put this in here, and I'm just going to take, well actually, I took some of this lace here with the linen on it, and I cut it in half, and I hot glued it in the frame there. I also have this piece of lace here that I'm just going to hot glue it over the arch here, just like so. Just kind of make it a little more dimensional. Okay. I'll tack down on there. And get this side tacked down real quick. Okay. So now I just have this little scrap piece of lace that I'm going to put over in this corner, and I'm going to hang it down over the frame just a little bit. Okay. All right. So you're probably wondering what's going on with that piece there. Well, this is for the other little picture frame. I cut it to fit that, and I'm going to be gluing that up there, but I kind of want to place a little bit of this crocheted piece here first to see where I want to put it. Alright, so I'm just going to hot glue this little piece of crochet. I actually have a few little string pieces that I'm going to put down first, and then I have this little piece of silver chain that I'm going to hot glue on too. Okay. And I also have just a little bit of pearl trim that I want to glue on here too. Just put a dab of glue there, press it down. Okay. So now I want to glue this crocheted piece on here, make sure where I want to put the small frame, and then we'll hot glue this down too. Okay. Now I also have a button that is going to fit over the open hole there, and it coordinates with all the roses on here. Alright, so that is how it's looking so far. I want to go ahead and put some buttons down in the corners, and then I'm going to glue the small picture frame on. Okay, so now you can see that I did put some buttons in each of the corners. And I don't know if I'm going to put any buttons anywhere else, but I'm going to go ahead and get this picture frame glued on like so. I am just going to be using some E6000. I'm going to put it on the back of the small picture frame and then tack it on. Just put a few pieces here. Just trying to figure out where to put it on the upper part. Alright, so now that I have that done and it's dry, I have this other piece of lace here that I cut to fit. I thought it looked kind of cute. Just going to hot glue, put a few beads of hot glue here and there, and tack it in. And as you can see, I have some little flowers and berries. Kind of coordinate with the flowers on here. So I'm just going to cut these off and I'm going to hot glue them in place. Stick that over there. All right, let's cut a few of these little flowers off. I unfortunately didn't have any little roses, but these will do. They almost match perfectly in the color. Let's get this figured out. But we put one over here, and maybe one in the corner here. Okay. And let's put another one over here. And I want to put these other berries. They have more green to them, but I think it'll look perfect. Just stick them kind of back here in the middle, up high. Let's get some glue on it. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out a few more pieces here. All right, well, I did go ahead and add a little bit of pearls there, a little more few pieces off of a pick that I had, and some silver buttons. And I really love how this turned out. Super easy to do. Now my next project is this resin book that I got. It was $4.99 and I did get it half off. I'm going to leave the back the way it is because I do like it. But let's see if I can take this off. It's stuck a little bit. We'll do it later. These are raised, the roses and the birds, and I don't really care for them. I want to do something else. And this trim around the book is gold, which I want to paint out. So I'm going to sand all of this down, and I'm going to paint everything with an off-white paint. I'm going to leave these edges the way they are on the books, just the top and the trim around. Okay, so now that I have all of this done, I'm going to take this color here, and I am just taking a damp paper towel. I'm just putting the color on. Kind of the way it was before, but it's a lot smoother now, so you don't have the raised of the roses and of the birds. Just put it on and wipe it off. You can have it as dark as you want. Now I'm going to be using again my scrapbooking paper, and these are things that I have in my junk journal kits that are on sale on eBay, so you might want to go check those out because this is how you can use them besides using it on a junk journal. Okay, so now that I have that done, I cut this piece to size. Going to use some Mod Podge. Just going to put some on the back of the scrapbooking paper here. And we'll glue it on to this one side here. And I did want it cut where you can see a little bit of the off-white that I did. I wasn't sure if I was going to cover up the whole thing at first. That's why I painted it out. And this is the other piece to it, but it's just not quite wide enough. So I'm going to use a piece of another scrap that I had over here first. And then what's left over of the other side of this piece, I'm going to put to the left of it. Okay, like so. And I am keeping that middle down there without any paper down there, and I painted it really dark. Kind of put a little bit more Mod Podge on here. Okay, all right. So this is just a cutout piece that I have from my scrapbooking kits that I have. And I'm going to glue this to the top here, just like so. Got to put a little bit more glue there. Okay, so I do want to put a few more pieces on here. Now I love this one here, but I don't want the whole thing. I'm going to cut the bodice out. It just takes up too much room on here. And I do save all my little pieces that I cut out because you never know when you can use them when you're making collages and everything and with your junk journaling. Just carefully cut this out all the way around. Okay. Get it finished up here. And one little section left to do. Okay. So I think I want to glue it like right here in this area. So let's go ahead and get the Mod Podge on it. Get this glued over here. Place it where I want it. Okay. To add just a little bit more glue there. All right. Wipe off the excess. And I have this other little piece here that I'm going to put on the other page. Get some Mod Podge on it. Okay. I'm putting this corner here. There we go. I also have this piece here that I cut out the middle. It was white in the middle, but I wanted to be able to see my scrapbook paper behind, so I did cut that out. And place it right here. Okay. Okay, so I want to figure out what other items I can put on here. I know buttons are always cute to put on and pieces of lace. So let me see what I got here. Just a second. Sorry that this went out of the camera frame. Just trying to pull some buttons. I have some of these steampunk buttons that I might put on here. I don't know. Kind of like these, you know, place them here or there. I just like to play with things before I actually hot glue anything on. And I also have a little bit of lace, actually a pearl trim with a little bit of lace on it that I might use at the top here. I don't know. Let's see what else I can find to use. Okay, so I've decided that before I glue anything on, I want to finish up on the edges here. And I'm using this melted chocolate again. And I am just wetting this down a lot. I am taking my paintbrush, putting it in water, dipping it in the paint, and just rubbing it on to these edges here. And I'm just going in with more water on the paintbrush and spreading it out. So let's go ahead and get all the other sides done here. I kind of spaced it out. I was looking at it going, wow, this doesn't look right. Yeah, I forgot to do the edges. Looks much better with this color on it than it staying the white, an off-white color. Again, you can do it any way that you want to. You can use a dry brush technique. You know, most of the time I use the damp paper towel, but I decided to just use a really wet brush on this one. Okay, let's get this last side finished. Okay, a little bit more here. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to start hot gluing some buttons and things on. And now that everything is dry, I decided to use this little key charm here that I'm going to hot glue in this little polka dotted area. Okay. And I have some vintage buttons that I'm going to hot glue on. Put one there, another one here. Let's get a dab of glue. Okay. And one more here. All right, so on the other side, I'm going to use some more buttons, some of my vintage buttons. Put that one there, got another one, put it right next to it. And one there. All right, and that is all that I'm going to do for this one. Now, this one here, this is one that I've done before. I thought I'd show it because This is another one with picture frames, fun things that you can do. I got this one half off at the Goodwill. Just going to take the glass out. I like the backing the way it is. I'm just going to do a little bit of a whitewash on it. Okay. And I am going to be painting the frame. Okay, so now that I've painted the frame, and I just used my white chalk paint, I'm using that deep taupe again, and I'm going in with a damp paper towel, and I'm going to rub it in. And like I always say, I do it lightly at first, because then you can add more later. Because sometimes when you're working with the paint, it will dry too fast. So just kind of do a light touch first, and then you can go on heavier. Okay, so let's get this finished up here. And this I actually did on my Mother's Day DIY video, Shabby Chic Mother's Day. Okay, I kind of like the way the frame looks here. So now that it's dry, I'm just going to take this warm white paint here, and I'm just going to be brushing it on, just a dry brush. I like how this backing is textured. Okay. And I'm going to continue to do this. I also want to wipe a little bit of it off. It got a little too heavy there. Let's put it on, just take a damp paper towel and wipe it in a little bit. Okay. A little bit more over here. So I'm going to get this finished up, and as you can see, this is how it turned out. I am just going to be hot gluing some items on here. You could use stuff from a junk journal kit, but I am going to be using some of these key charms that I have, an old watch face, some pearl trim, and some chain that I have, and a little bit of crocheted trim too. I just want to tie this all together with a piece of yarn, and we'll keep the yarn on there too, to be part of the trim pieces. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to decide where I want to put this. Okay. I like to play around with it first before I do it. Alright. I'm just seeing how it's going to hang from where I place it. Alright, so let's put a dab of hot glue here. And place it right there. I think I'm going to put the watch face over here, so let's just hot glue it on. And now the keys, going to figure out the placement of the keys. Okay. And then we'll hot glue this one on. Okay, and I do want to put some buttons on here. I picked out a few buttons. I have this one little pearl looking button that just fits perfectly in the hole at the top of the key. And we'll put one over here. And we'll just place a few more here and there. Let's put some hot glue here and tuck this one in. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for those. All right, let's get these last buttons on. Okay. All right. Now I also want to add some flowers and a few pieces from a pick that I have. So I'm just going to figure out where I want to place these and just hot glue them on. Okay. And let's take these pieces from a pick that I cut off. They're like those little styrofoam berries, just the real teeny tiny ones. And we'll put one more piece over here. And I'm going to put the other flower down here. Okay. Let's glue that one about right here. And I have a couple more of those pieces. Just figuring out what sides I want to put these on, if this is the way I want it. Or that one over there. Okay. Okay. So that is all that I'm going to do to this picture frame. Let's tack this in just a little bit more here. All right, now my last one is, I got this at the Thrift store. I did show this on another one, but you know what? I found another one. This is the chalk paint that I use on all my items. I found another one kind of like this the other day, but it looks more like a doily. Kind of like how that doily looks. But I just didn't have time to get it done. So I just thought I would show this one because I'm going to kind of do the same technique to it. So I'm just putting Mod Podge in the center here, and I'm going to put this doily right in here. I'm just doing this for some texture in the middle. And we'll put a little more of the Mod Podge there. Okay. Now, while I'm letting that dry, I am just taking some of that deep taupe paint and I am just brushing it on to the petals here. I think this looks like a sunflower kind of to me. I'm going to go around the whole thing, kind of make it darker in spots and lighter in others. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to bring a little bit more darkness in here. Here and there. Okay, so I did put some of that over and I didn't like the way it looked. It just wasn't what I wanted. So I'm going to take this larger doily and put it in the center instead. And then I'm going to Mod Podge the area, the pieces that are sticking up, they're going to be Mod Podged flat onto the other petals. Now that that is all done, I'm just taking this printable that I got off the Graphics Fairy, and I'm just going to cut it a little bit, and I'm just going to tear the edges here. Like so, and I'm just going to Mod Podge it in the center. Okay, got to tear just a little bit more here. And a little bit more on this side. Okay, now that I have done that, I did put a little bit more of that deep taupe over everything. And I'm just using some of this nautical rope that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just hot gluing it around. You know, it's funny how this nautical rope actually matches perfectly with the color that I use, that deep taupe on there. Okay, I also want to put a little bit of decor here where I piece the two ends of the rope here. So I just made a little ragged lace bow here, and I'm just going to hot glue it on, and I have some buttons, and I do have a little bee charm that I want to put on here. Okay, we'll get the buttons on and the charm, and then that will do it for this project. Another real simple, easy one to do. Let's get that bee charm on there. Okay, like so. All right, and that's that. So let's check everything out and see how it looks together. So I just placed everything over here on my table. We can get some close-ups here. With this picture frame here, I just used some pieces from my junk journal kits that I have for sale on eBay. I do have my eBay store link down below if you want to go check them out to see what I have for sale. I did add a few more of the kits. And please be sure to go check out everybody else's videos on this road trip. You don't want to miss them. Again, this is hosted by Teresa from Our Green Acres and the Crafting Cousins. I have the links to their channels down below and the playlist for everybody else's. You know, I kind of like how this book turned out. I placed it upward like that because you could put it on a little stand instead of having it flat. Again, I also love this little picture frame here. All right, that's going to do it for the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And again, please do go make sure you check out the playlist down below and, of course, my eBay store. I want to wish everybody a very wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.